Shocking, yes, I said shocking, accusations about Meta spying on Snapchat users. OpenAI has a real challenger on their hands, and it's not Google. A new attack on Apple users and some, again, shocking stats about teens being bullied on social media. These stories and more on the Can't Wait for the Weekend edition of Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Newly unsealed court documents show that Facebook, now known as Meta, ran a secret program called Project Ghostbusters that intercepted and decrypted network traffic from users of rival apps like Snapchat, YouTube, and even Amazon. These documents were released as part of an ongoing class action lawsuit against Meta by consumers who claim the company misled them about its data collection practices. The documents reveal how in 2016, Facebook launched Project Ghostbusters with the goal of understanding user behavior on Snapchat's app in order to better compete against it. An internal email from Mark Zuckerberg that year stated the need to figure out a new way to get reliable analytics about Snapchat's encrypted app traffic. Facebook's solution was to use its Onavo, a VPN app from Israel, which it acquired in 2013, to essentially perform a person-in-the-middle attack. Onavo apparently offered free VPN services and even incentives to attract younger users and had over 1 million users of its system at one point. But the Onavo apps didn't protect privacy as one would expect from a VPN, that instead they allowed Facebook to intercept and decrypt device traffic before it was encrypted and sent to apps like Snapchat. The project later reportedly expanded to monitor traffic from YouTube and even Amazon apps as well. Some Facebook employees raised ethical concerns, with one security lead writing, "They were never comfortable with this, no matter what consent we got." If proven, these tactics represent a stunning breach of user privacy and trust. Meta has not yet commented on these revelations, which could have major legal and reputational ramifications. In the rapidly evolving world of artificial intelligence, a new challenger has emerged to take the top spot away from OpenAI's GPT-4 model. Claude 3 Opus, the latest AI system from a firm called Anthropic, has claimed the #1 position on the chatbot arena leaderboard, knocking GPT-4 down to second place for the first time since its launch last year. Anthropic was started by a former executive at OpenAI, and although it's less well known, it's raised serious capital and has developed an exceptional AI system. You might remember that when Sam Altman was ousted as the CEO of OpenAI, one of the possibilities the board raised was to sell OpenAI to Anthropic. That didn't happen, but it shows that even OpenAI takes this contender very seriously, and according to recent results, they should. The chatbot arena run by the Large Model Systems Organization relies on human votes to rank the outputs of different AI models against each other. And in the latest update incorporating over 70,000 new votes, Claude 3 Opus had edged past GPT-4 to take the top ranking. But what makes this achievement even more impressive is that not only has the Opus model surpassed GPT-4, but all 3 versions of Claude 3, Opus, Sonnet, and even the smaller Haiku model, have made it into the top 10. The organizers noted that Claude 3 Haiku, despite its compact size comparable to Google's Gemini Nano, is now performing at what they consider GPT-4 level based on user preferences. This suggests that Anthropic's models are delivering impressive capabilities even at smaller scales and lower costs. While OpenAI's GPT-4 has been the benchmark for over a year and a markedly different GPT-5 is expected later this year, Anthropic's Claude 3 has claimed an early lead in this independent ranking system. It's worth noting that the chatbot arena has some limitations, like not including all available models and potentially favoring those with live internet access, but for now, Claude 3 Opus has taken the top spot, marking a significant milestone in the rapidly progressing field of large language models. On an aside, I've tried it. It is fantastic. You should check it out. Cyber attackers are exploiting a flaw in Apple's password reset system to bombard users with an endless stream of notifications and attempt to trick them into handing over sensitive information. According to a report from Krebs on Security, multiple Apple users have been targeted by a sophisticated phishing attack that floods their iPhone, Apple Watch, and Mac with a barrage of password reset approval requests. The attack is designed to cause panic, rendering all linked Apple devices essentially unusable until each pop-up is manually dismissed, which in some cases has meant clicking Don't Allow over 100 times. After this notification spam, the attackers call the victims using spoofed numbers that appear to be from Apple itself. On these calls, they claim the user's account is under attack, and sensitive details like one-time passwords are needed to resolve it. If successful in tricking the users, the attackers can then reset the password and gain full access to the victim's Apple ID account. It appears the perpetrators are exploiting a bug that bypasses rate limits on Apple's Forgot Password webpage to trigger the endless pop-ups. They likely already have the victim's email, phone number, and leaked password to initiate the attack. Cybersecurity experts warn users never to share one-time codes, even if a call seems to come from Apple's support line, which is easily spoofed. The safest approach is hanging up and calling Apple directly. It's hopeful that Apple will address this vulnerability soon, but it points to an increasing number of attacks targeting Apple devices, which were for many years rarely targeted by malware, but it appears that could be changing. Ransomware attacks targeting critical infrastructure like hospitals and healthcare facilities are becoming an alarming threat. But the U.S. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, has partnered with a new agency, the Advanced Research Projects Agency for Health, or ARPA-H, to take on this ransomware challenge through an AI competition called the Artificial Intelligence Cyber Challenge. The 2-year contest, first announced last summer, invites teams to develop AI tools that can automatically secure the code used in critical systems like those running in hospitals and medical devices. With ARPA-H now joining forces, an extra $20 million in rewards has been added to incentivize solutions to protect healthcare infrastructure. An ARPA-H program manager explains that healthcare is uniquely sensitive to cyber disruptions compared to other sectors like water or power utilities. Hospital uptime is critical, as taking resources offline can directly impact patient care and safety in life or death scenarios. And the FBI's latest data shows that ransomware incidents spiked 18% last year, with healthcare being the most targeted of all 16 critical infrastructure sectors. High-profile attacks like the one on Change Healthcare in February have shown the severe consequences. Through the AI Cyber Challenge, teams will tackle real-world coding flaws like vulnerabilities in the Linux kernel used across medical devices. Top performers in the upcoming DEF CON Hacker Convention will split $10 million in prize money to develop these AI cybersecurity tools. It's an unconventional but potentially powerful approach to shoring up cyber defenses for sectors like healthcare, where ransomware has potentially catastrophic risks. And if you listened to our show last weekend, which looked at the weaknesses in our critical infrastructure, this is exactly what our guest, Nick Alex, proposed, reaching out to the hacking community to get their help in defending against this rise in attack. New findings from the World Health Organization show a rise in cyberbullying among adolescents globally since before the COVID-19 pandemic. The WHO surveyed over 279,000 school-aged children across 44 countries and regions for this report, and results reveal that nearly 1 in 6 adolescents, or around 15%, reported experiencing cyberbullying at least once or twice in the past couple of months. These figures represent an increase from 2018 levels when 12% of boys and 13% of girls said they'd been cyberbullied. The WHO says there's an urgent need to educate young people, families, and schools about the different forms of cyberbullying and its harmful implications. Their European regional director stated that as young people's social lives moved more online during the pandemic lockdowns, rates of cyberbullying appears to have increased. He described it as both a health and human rights issue that societies must address. It's more than time for governments or somebody to take a leadership role in helping our kids and saving lives. And that's our show for today. We have a different show for you this weekend, and it's a bit of an experiment, actually. We'll be missing our daily news on Friday and Monday, so we prepared 2 episodes of a short documentary-type series on AI. As I said, it's a bit of an experiment, and I'd love to know what you think about it. We're back again with the Daily News Tuesday morning. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a great long weekend, and may the Easter rabbit bring you chocolate.